Welcome, everybody. This is BIZ217, Global Tourism Brand Transforms Customer Experience with Amazon Connect. Delighted to be here with you today to present the session. My name is Ali Galal. I lead Amazon Connect, Sales and Go-to-Market in Europe, Middle East, and Africa at AWS. And later we'll be joined on stage by Ramon de Lima, Global Director of Customer Service and Operations at TUI. Today's travelers are well connected and more connected than ever. We research online, we book on mobile, we get updates via text, and we are very quick to share our experiences, especially when things don't go to plan. And each moment of connection is an opportunity to delight customers or to disappoint them. And the odds have never been higher than before. Now, show of hands, who took a plane to get here to reInvent 2025? Who was affected by disruption because of airplane maintenance, snow in Chicago, or any other reason? And who got quick, personalized updates from their travel provider to keep them updated on what is happening to their trip? What I'm going to do, because I'm a traveler as well, and I'm very keen to tell you about how my journey turned from a routine flight from London to Vegas into a grueling 23-hour marathon of trying to understand how am I going to get to Vegas and how I am going to reach my destination in time. Now, this disruption in the travel industry is unfortunately common, but what frustrated me the most is while the travel providers knew of the situation, they had the information, and they have all my contact details, they failed to be able to give me updates in time. And while all the news outlets were talking about the disruption, I couldn't get any information from them about what does that mean for my trip. And what was most puzzling is that the staff at the airports, the various airports I ended up going to, as much as they wanted to help, they lacked access to the right tools that gave them the information that they would be able to give me the help that I needed and the reassurance to know that I'm going to actually be able to make it to my destination. And being in the technology industry, particularly in customer experience, I know that that is a choice that the provider is taking. They choose to not use the latest technology. They choose not to give their staff access to this information. And that means I'm left to feel that they don't care about my experience as one of their customers. And here's what's at stake. 74% of travel providers believe that they have improved their customer service and their customer experiences. But only 35% of travelers believe that to be true. So there's a big disconnect between what the providers think they are delivering as an experience and the experience that the travelers feel that they are getting. And that's a big issue for the ones who are failing to deliver great experiences, because the travel industry is believed to reach $1.3 trillion business in 2025. So it's recovering beyond pre-COVID levels. Great opportunity for the travel providers to rebuild their businesses, but there's going to be a big gap between those who deliver great experiences and those who fall behind. Especially that today's travelers have higher expectations than pre-COVID. Pre-COVID, 3.4%, on average, travelers tolerated 3.4 bad experiences with a provider before choosing to switch providers and work with somebody else. Post-COVID, it's 2.4%. So there is less opportunity to get things wrong for these travelers. 79% of travelers are expecting personalized recommendations, personalized outreach in the moments that matter for them. And 64% of travelers are willing to pay a premium to be able to receive this personalized service. So that means the bar is higher for the travel providers to be able to deliver that experience, to retain their customers' trust and loyalty. And as AWS, we're delighted to be working with some of the world's largest and well-known brands in the travel and hospitality industry. Examples include Accor Hotels, who have more than 5,000 properties worldwide. We have Delta, who are committed to delivering bar-raising experiences for their customers, or Ryanair, Europe's largest and fastest growing airline, as Amazon Connect customers. And I'm super delighted today that TUI are here with us to share their experience and their story of how they are innovating their traveler experiences powered by AWS. So please give a warm welcome to Ramon de Lima, Global Director of Service and Operations at TUI.
Thank you for being here. And I already won one prize because you're here not having lunch. So I'm at least more important than your lunch. But thank you for being here. But also nice to have this upbeat, energetic start. And I hope that the rest of my presentation will not disappoint you. Still, I will try to disappoint you. So TUI, customer service and operations. And I do realize that for some of you, you would say, but what is TUI? Because TUI is a well-known brand in Europe, but actually in the Americas, I think most of you have not heard of it. But actually, the TUI group is the leading integrated tourism business in the world. And with integrated, what we mean is that we offer our own resorts, our own hotels, our own airlines, our aircrafts, our own cruise ships, and our own experiences businesses integrated in one model. And we try to deliver really exceptional holiday experiences to more than 30 million customers in the world. And if that's what we do, customer service is one of the most important elements in our company. But I promise you some disappointment. So, here you go. Because if you go back a little bit in time, and you look at this graph, and most of you will recognize the size and the form of the graph and the timeline below. And I see already some people getting headaches coming back, because indeed, this is the pandemic impact on tourism, where you see an incredible drop in international travel due to the travel restrictions during the pandemic. The blue part, that's actually the interesting part. Because when the travel restrictions were lifted, in the top 3 of things that people wanted to do again was actually go on holiday. And you would say, well, Ramon, you're working for a tourism company. That was the best period ever. No, not at all. Because actually, the tourism sector was not ready for you. So you wanted to go on holiday. The airports were not ready for you. The airlines not. The hotels not. My customer service was also not ready for you. So actually what you saw at that time, when everybody wanted to travel and we wanted to upscale our customer service activity, we saw that customers needed a lot of help during their journey, before their journey, during the journey, after the journey. We also saw that our frontline, our advisors, it took them really a lot of time to do their job. Because basically, we have made it impossible for them to deliver. A lot of systems, processes that were not lean, confusion, the knowledge jungle to find information in our company at that time took so long that we don't call it knowledge management, we called it the knowledge jungle. Some people never came out at the end, so long it took. And you can see what the impact was on a few of our key metrics. If you see the amount of time our customers needed help from customer service during their journey, that was 2.8 in 22. So 2.8 times they needed help from customer service before making a booking, after making a booking, during their holiday, or when they're back. It took our advisors 11 minutes per contact to solve the inquiry of our customers. And I know per business you can debate what is long and what is short. But if I would be 11 minutes quiet now on stage, I can tell you, 11 minutes is a lot of time. And actually we saw, when we broke down the time, the average handling time, there was so much waste in there. And not surprising, if you then ask the customers, what do you think of this? Yeah, we got a bit of a lame 7. I hate 7 as a customer satisfaction score. You know, it's nothing, really nothing. And then if we look specifically at the technology part behind it, some of the things became clear. Our frontline was using more than 85 applications during their job. I see some people smiling. I hope it is smiling of recognition. And I hope it's not laughing at me like, oh, you're so stupid. but more than 85, the complexity, the cost of maintaining it. And it was not surprising, because my organization was a very decentral organization. Everything was organized per market. So also technology. So all systems that we use were more or less multiplied by 5. And even our telephony system, Avaya, which we used in all markets, well, basically it was called in all markets Avaya. But every market it was implemented and put in place in a different way. So there were no common elements. And there was very light global coordination at that time. So coming from a place which in any aspect was not good. Where are we now? So we focused on 2 or more elements, but 2 elements I want to take out. One is continuous improvement. So again, think about the 2.8 times per booking that customers needed help. We use contact reason analytics to change the discussion in our company from customer service, can you please solve it, to we're going to point exactly in the organization and in the journey where things go wrong that customers need help. So for example, in the UK, more than 10% of the contacts were generated by credit card payments. So 10% of the contacts are because customers had a question or something went wrong during their credit card payment. By having that information and bringing that to the people who could impact that part of the journey, we could solve it at the root cause, and these contacts then started to go down. So technology played an important role there. Also, having technology helping our advisors in the TUI knowledge jungle to quicker find the information relevant for the conversation. So how successful was that if you look at a 3-year period? So we started that horrible 22, where we had really a bad situation in tourism. We see that our customers grew with 20%, but we also could see that tackling those root causes, we could reduce substantially the number of contacts. We could avoid the number of contacts. But also by helping our advisors with better processes and better tooling, we could also bring down that average handling time substantially. But as you all know, it is not so difficult to reduce this in customer service. Don't pick up the phone. Don't answer the chat. So actually, for us, it was not good enough to only reduce contacts and reduce average handling time. Where we wanted to focus on was that at the same time, we improve our CSAT and we improve our sales conversion. And actually, there's a logical link to it. Because if you focus on the non-value added part of our activities, and if you can solve that, you reduce cost and you improve customer satisfaction. My advisors have now more time to really focus on where they can have an impact. And that is on the human, empathic side of dealing with customers. On sharing the excitement of going on a holiday. Or really acknowledge that we made a mistake and we will try to repair it as good as possible. That is where my frontline makes a difference. Or by using the time saved in a way that you can offer relevant additional products and services and increase that conversion during customer service. And you see there in the dotted line that resulted that our relative cost per customer went down with 10%. And like I said, technology is playing a role in there. Because in that same 2022, we started onboarding all our markets, all our customer service onto Amazon Connect. It took us 2 years to onboard more than 10,000 users on Connect. It was done in 12 markets. It involved 8 languages. And we went for, of course, for call, for chat, conversational IVR, omni-channel routing, etc. And how does that look like at this moment? With the help of Gamma, I think a partner in crime is somewhere here in the room. Yeah, there they are. Thank you for that. And we created a tailor-made agent desktop, which looks like this, where you have the customer information, where you have our voice, IVR, ID&V, so customer identification and verification, automatically done in the voice IVR. And also we use the voice IVR to recognize the intent. I was 2 weeks ago, I was in Swansea, and I remember that 3 years ago when I started in TUI, Swansea was my first location where I was sitting next to the advisor. And actually, I was shocked 3 years ago. It was almost a miracle that he could solve a problem of a customer. And now 2 years later, I sit next to an agent, an advisor, and the most important thing that I could already feel was the self-confidence, the peace of mind of our advisor, because they knew what was coming. They knew the customer that was coming. They knew what was the intent. So they felt prepared. So where are we now? We solved the paradox cost versus quality. Because that's what we did. We went for cost. Let's be honest. But by doing that, we improved the customer satisfaction and sales conversion. So 30% less contacts. So the contact per booking reduction, 30%. By supporting our advisors, we could reduce with 25% the average handling time. We could reinvest time into delight the customer and focus on the experience. And the CSAT improved with 25%. And we could reinvest time, valuable time, into upsell, cross-sell, and it resulted in 25% additional sales conversion. And just before I went on my plane to Vegas from London, we were also recognized in the European contact center industry as the Gold Award winner of customer service in Europe. Thank you. I didn't expect an applause, but thank you nevertheless. I just recovered from the hangover, so I think thank God I was not on Monday on the schedule of re-event. But I think it is enormously supporting, as you know, for our people and the front line, that you get that recognition that I think in the past in customer service, we not always received. But the question is, and what is next? Because although we are super proud of what we have achieved so far, we do realize that the opportunities to further improve in the setup that we have in TUI are getting smaller and smaller. So a very decentral, organized customer service. So actually we went for CS1, Customer Service 1. We have now organized ourselves in one support organization. So across all markets, one training department, one knowledge management department, one workforce management department, using the best practices that we have, but only one process, only one technological solution. And reducing duplication and also reduce cost by doing that. One customer service operation. And of course, we have segmented our advisors in their specialism. And if it's on the phone, by language. But everything what we can do via text, chat, social media, etc., language doesn't play a role anymore because we use language translation. So we can use our global organization and optimize that to the maximum for all the non-voice activities that we have. And instead of focusing on, Germany and German customers are different than Dutch customers, we finally go to the level of customer A is different than customer B. And I always say nothing happens when you cross the border between the Netherlands and Germany that, you have different customers. No, that doesn't happen. But an elderly couple in the Netherlands and an elderly couple in Germany probably have more in common than their language. And thirdly, one technology, because we believe that if we want to increase our speed of implementation, we have to go to one system. So our strategy is AWS unless. And what does that mean for us? Is that all the opportunities that Connect gives us, if that matches our need, we will take Connect. And even if it's not 100% what we needed, we strongly believe that the value of simplifying our technological landscape is more important than really going for that last 2% of requirements that we all so used to. And so really we believe in going for AWS unless brings us to a reduction of complexity and using all the great stuff that Connect can deliver us. One application, one seamless experience for our customer, and one seamless experience for our advisors. We are targeting 25% OPEX reduction by really reducing those incredible amount of applications. And then how is the desktop going to look like in the future? And here it is, again, an improvement versus what you saw before. It is much more the relevant customer information that we present to our advisors. It is the voice IVR that, again, delivers the verification, but also the intent recognition. And we are going to add also the proactive information to the advisor. So we went from knowledge jungle to helping our advisors in the knowledge jungle to we will present proactively the relevant information from the jungle. So that is where we stand at this moment and are further developing. And if you then look at our priorities, we continue to focus on that continuous improvement because there's so much more that we can avoid in the customer journey by looking at why customers are contacting customer service. CS1 is where we will focus on. One global organization, one process, one digital solution. Optimizing that operation and focusing on AI, that really helps our advisors performing better. And only after that, focusing on where AI can help customers. We have achieved a 10% reduction of cost per booking in the last 3 years. More or less an equivalent of 20 million bottom line impact that we have generated. It took us 10 minutes to decide what our new target would be. We thought, how cool would it be to do it again? So again, the coming 3 years, we are aiming to bring that cost per customer down with 10%. And we are doing that really by using technology, continuous improvement, and optimizing our global footprint. The lessons learned. There are many, to be very honest. But I think for me, the most important thing is, in hindsight, is that we really made a good decision to go for our strategic partnership with Connect. Because it's really important that you choose a partner that has the same view of the business. So I cannot even say go for Connect. It depends. It depends. But I think in our case, we wanted to simplify our very complex customer service arena. And by the way, they're also very happy on that side of the... what you see is, what I mean is that it is so important that you match that very well. We were very complex. Connect really forced us into decomplexing and making the right choices. A second advice is, I've changed my mind. 10 years ago, I would strongly believe in being as close as possible to the local market in customer service. I see now with the new environment that we have around us, with all this technology that comes fast towards us, if we want to benefit from it, we need central decision making. That doesn't mean that in TUI we have somewhere a head office in southern Germany where we make decisions. No, we don't care where the people are, but there's only one responsible for every element of the decision making. Because that makes sure that we really can speed up our decision making and our implementation process. My third lesson and strong recommendation is, whatever your vendors tell you, focus AI really on your advisors, on your customer service agents. And it's not to be politically correct. Actually, it's a very financial reason that I say this. Because by doing that, you will have an incredible large impact on cost and fast. Of course, I believe in the future of agentic AI, AI agents of the company talking to the AI assistants of consumers. It will get there, but not next year. At least my CFO wants to see a return on investment this year, and preferably in the first half of the year, not in the second half of the year. So for that reason, it's so important to focus AI on how can it make your front line more effective and more powerful. And there's a very interesting aspect to add to that. If you screw up on the technology, your advisors will forgive you. Your customers doesn't. So you can bring new ideas much faster into production, and especially if you take your advisors in that whole change management process, they will be the first one who will say, I think we can do this better by changing this and this. Not your customers. So please focus on that element. And last but not least, I think if I look back on our transformation, then it's the cooperation between the business. So my colleagues who are daily with their feet in the mud of customer service, managing teams, managing processes, on one hand. On the other hand, my TUI technology colleagues, and thirdly, my colleagues or my friends of AWS, how that works together, the three, that is, I think, the right level of providing success. So I hope that I have matched a little bit the enthusiasm of my opening video with the story of TUI customer service.